I am Su-hee, the sole daughter of the Su group's patriarch. Born with a silver spoon in my mouth, even my grandfather personally selected a diamond-encrusted feeding bottle for me at birth. 17 years of unbroken smooth sailing came to an abrupt halt when I awoke from a fever, my mind infused with the memories of a sensational novel, and found myself cast as the hapless supporting female character, who wouldn't survive beyond the third chapter. How preposterous was the original plot? The female lead Lin Xiao masqueraded under the guise of a beautiful, strong, and tragic persona, while being a master of duplicity. On the first day of school, I was cornered by hoodlums in an alley. He rushed to the rescue, brandishing a brick to play the hero, and from that day forward, I became his permanent meal ticket and mobile ATM. The moment I purchased the latest iPhone for him, he turned to his roommate and scoffed. Su-hee is such a fool. Why not take advantage of her money when it's there for the taking? When I implored my grandfather to secure a quotas for admission to school for him, he was in front of the mirror applying the TF lipstick I had gifted him, all the while calling me a parasite. The most audacious twist? He climbed into my father's bed that very day, wearing the silk nightgown I had given him. The day I was reborn happened to coincide with the school registration day. Gazing at my pale reflection in the mirror, I let out a sardonic laugh and tore out the 4-tube. In my past life at this precise moment I dragged my gravely ill body to school. As Lin Xiao escorted me to the infirmary, he deliberately knocked over an alcohol bottle, burning a scar into the back of my hand. This scar would later serve as his fabricated evidence to accuse me of campus bullying. Fortuitously, there was still a week remaining before high school registration. Ample time to rewrite my fate. Butler Uncle Zhao chauffeured me to an upscale residential complex near the school, handing me a key and a bank card. Miss, the master has instructed that from this day until your university graduation, your monthly allowance will be 10,000 yuan. Please spend prudently. Understood. Anything else? The master requests that you maintain a low profile. Got it, Uncle Zhao. I acquiesced demurely, waving as I hauled my luggage into the complex and located the residence my father had prepared according to the address. It was a luxury apartment with a private elevator, boasting a 2-story design that suited my tastes perfectly. With low occupancy and quiet surroundings, it was also conveniently close to our school. Standing at the threshold, a wave of bittersweet emotion welled up within me. Though my father had always been kind to my brother and me, his perpetual busyness left a void. After my brother came of age, father and son often traveled the world. In the novel, it was precisely because my loved ones were rarely by my side that Lin Xiao exploited the opportunity. Fed with the fallacy that wealthy families discard mothers and keep sons, I harbored resentment toward my father, eventually being manipulated by Lin Xiao into alienating him. Humph, if our family could be so easily dismantled by a mere girl, it would either mean rot at its very core or a preposterously absurd plot. Slumping onto the sofa, I sighed into my bubble tea, scheming ways to break the deadlock. I hadn't yet had my fill of the affluent life. I refused to be undone by this. Soon arrived the school registration day. Recalling the novel's plot, on the first day of classes, I would be cornered by several ill-intentioned boys in a back alley. After Lin Xiao saved me like a divine warrior descending from the heavens, I'd treat her as a close confidant. Now that I knew the plot, I naturally intended to avoid this trap. Yet, to my utter dismay, I still encountered a band of hoodlums. Little sister, you're quite the beauty, care to be my girlfriend? A burly gangster leered, as several others closed in maliciously. Nearby students scattered in terrified flight. My heart sank. This spells trouble. I thought, retreating while strategizing. Sensing my withdrawal, the hoodlums grew bolder. Spewing obscenities, they reached for me. Do you truly think I'm an easy target? Seizing the moment, I stamina and delivered a brutal kick to the ringleader's groin. Thankfully, I'd chosen 3 centimeters thick-heeled leather pumps. Understated yet lethal. The gangster howled, collapsing to the ground, clutching his abdomen. Raising my chin, I smiled sweetly at the others. You dare fancy yourselves my suitors? Come, take a kick from me first. The hoodlums froze. Before they could act, a shout rang out. Big Beard is coming. Their faces paled. They hauled their accomplice and fled in panic. I turned to see the dean hurrying over, nicknamed Big Beard by students for his bushy whiskers. At the sight of him, my nose stung and my eyes welled, nearly spilling into tears. He paused, patting my shoulder. Don't fret, student. This is their wrongdoing and I shall handle it. You have my word. Wiping away imaginary tears, I nodded. I know, Dean, you're the most just. Thank you. Just then, Lin Xiao sidled up timidly. Are you unharmed, classmate? I shot him a disdainful glance, replying coldly, fine, before taking leave of the dean and striding away. He ruined me so thoroughly in my past life. I can't let him entangle me again. I mused. Yet fate mocked me, we were assigned to the same class. Unsure how to proceed, I opted for cold indifference. But Lin Xiao proved dogged. After a month of evasion, he approached me teary-eyed. Voice quivering, he whimpered. Miss Su, do you loathe me? Why won't you befriend me? Have I erred? I'll mend my ways, I swear. I looked up, feigning perplexity. Who might you be? Are we acquainted? Are you in our class? Turning to my deskmate, I added. Is this young lady a classmate? I don't recall her. The deskmate pointed in the direction of her seat. Of course I'll sit there, I replied, then looked at Lin Xiaojia and smiled, saying, Sorry, I have face blindness, don't take it to heart. Lin Xiaojia's face instantly turned ashen. Seeing this, the surrounding classmates jeered. So many people surround Suhi, it's only natural she knows others. Lin Xiao, you don't usually hang out with Suhi. Why does it look like she's bullying you now? Lin Xiao bit her lip tightly, tears welling in her eyes, and ran back to her seat crying. Why cry over just 2 sentences? So melodramatic, I sighed, taking out snacks to share with the classmates who had spoken up for me. The classroom was instantly filled with the aroma. And just as the excitement peaked, the homeroom teacher arrived. Our homeroom teacher had a fearsome reputation, rumored to be someone who'd dare confront leaders and beat students, quick to scold at the slightest disagreement and quick to act if anyone defied him. Now sitting on the podium, he spotted the snacks near me and began grumbling. Where did you hear rumors that I hit leaders? Last time the director and I were just drunk and messing around. Can that count as hitting? And those who say I beat students are talking nonsense. The only ones I've ever beaten are those little hoodlums from outside who bullied our class girls. Since this was a self-study class, the homeroom teacher sat on the podium and began boasting about his past glorious deeds. Just then the front desk classmate quietly slipped me a note, whispering, For you. Puzzled, I took it and unfolded it to find several tear-like stains on the paper which read, Classmate Sue, tomorrow is my birthday, but I live in the dorm and can't go out. Can you bring me a cake? It doesn't need to be big. An 8-inch one is fine. I suddenly remembered that in my dream, I had foolishly paid for not just a cake but a pile of snacks and drinks to celebrate his birthday, only to be scolded by my dad afterward. This time I wasn't going to be a fool again. So I picked up a pen and wrote, Sure, pay first 100 yuan. More will be refunded. Less will be supplemented. After writing, I poked the front desk classmate to pass the note back. Soon it was returned with an added line. But I don't even have money for meals. Can you pay for me first? I'll definitely pay you back later, please. Ailung Xiao snorted coldly, and ignored it. After class, Lin Xiao ran over and said humbly, Classmate Sue, you agreed to buy me a cake? I pretended to be confused. What cake? The birthday cake. You promised, he said, his eyes reddening with urgency. Oh, the cake, okay, pay up. Give me 100 yuan first. I held out my hand. I don't have money. Can you pat it for me? I'll pay you back when I get my living expenses next month. His voice grew quieter. No money but still want to eat cake? The deskmate deliberately shouted loudly. The surrounding classmates burst into laughter. Lin Zhao's face turned crimson, and he ran out crying. Just as I was wondering if I had gone too far, 2 girls hesitated and approached. I recognized them as Lin Zhao's roommates Li Yi and Bai Yun. Classmate Sue, we need to tell you something, Li Yi stammered. Go ahead, I said gently, looking at them. We saw Lin Xiao put a stack of money in the closet last night. It looked like a lot, at least several hundred yuan. And he has a bad temper in private. Don't believe his act of pretending to be pitiful. You'd better stay away from him, Bai Yun added in a low voice. My heart tightened instantly. I realized Lin Xiao was not simple, but I kept my expression calm. After thanking them, I became even more vigilant. The next day, Lin Xiao hesitated to speak all day, staring at me in class and frequently looking back distractedly. I pretended not to notice and pulled my deskmate to the restroom or the small supermarket after class, making the deskmate stamp her foot in anger and scold me with a laugh for being like a little blind person. Before evening self-study, Lin Xiao finally couldn't hold back. He walked up to me and hesitated. Classmate Sue, didn't you go buy the cake? I pretended to suddenly realize. Oh, the cake, I said, pulling out 6 triangular small cakes from Yuza Cake Shop from my desk drawer. These are new in the store and very expensive. I deliberately exclaimed excitedly. Everyone come try them. Yuza's cakes are usually hard to get. Upon hearing this, classmates surrounded us. Wow, these cakes are super expensive. Suhi is so generous. Last time I went into the store, the prices almost scared me. Suhi, you're amazing, they exclaimed while eating, lamenting that absent classmates were missing out. Lin Xiao stood aside, pale-faced and glaring at me with resentment. I even pretended to be wronged and said, Lin Xiao, why aren't you eating? Are you mad I didn't buy you a big cake? Sorry, it's your birthday. I shouldn't have asked you for money. The classmates immediately whispered among themselves. Yeah, why should others pay for your birthday? And he said he had no money, so unreasonable. Lin Xiao gritted his teeth. I'm not mad at you. I'm poor and deserve not to eat cake. Then turned and ran out of the classroom. The classmates ignored him and continued sharing the cakes. During the subsequent evening self-study, Lin Xiao rushed out as soon as class ended and only returned when class started, acting as proud as a victorious peacock. But the next morning, as soon as I entered the classroom, I sensed an odd atmosphere. Many classmates looked at me strangely. Before I could wonder why, my deskmate angrily pulled me aside and accused. Last night, rumors spread all over the school that you bullied others, led a campaign to isolate a poor student, and even committed campus violence. I snorted inwardly. This plot had advanced ridiculously early, but I calmly pulled my desk mate aside and whispered, "Which class in our school is the most gossipy?" "Definitely class 8 of grade 1. Their grades are poor, and they just hang out all day loving to spread rumors. Do you know anyone in class 8? "Yes, my junior high classmate is there." "Please do me a favor," I whispered in her ear, then took out 500 yuan and handed it to her. "Use this money to treat your classmate to tea. I'll reward you handsomely if it's done well, and I'll even give you that blind box set you like." My deskmate's eyes lit up. "Got it, Sister Sue. Don't worry," she said, then rushed out and returned before morning self-study, sweating profusely. I stuffed her with the nutritious breakfast my aunt had made. "Thanks, baby." After morning self-study was breakfast time, followed by class. Before class, Lin Xiao ran back to the classroom crying and wept loudly on the desk, scaring several classmates. As classmates returned, they gathered to chat about gossip. The content was Lin Xiao's twisted version of the story, claiming I refused to buy him a cake and accusing me of bullying him. Combined with last night's rumors, many were misled. Trying to frame me? Not so easy. I won't just sit here and let them smear me. Since rumors are here, I'll fight fire with fire. All day, Lin Xiao didn't bother me but whispered with another girl, accompanied by a chubby boy who kept staring at me, making me uneasy. After class, I went out for some air and saw Zhou Lei at the door. This guy had been falsely accused of stealing money in junior high, dragged into an alley and beaten up. Luckily, I passed by and saved him, taking him to the hospital. Since then, he'd become my follower, studying hard to get into our school's class 8, though he was at the bottom of the class. "Sister Sue, you're finally out." Zhou Lei grinned. "Stop flattering, what's up? Speak quickly." I rolled my eyes at him. "Sister Sue, the cameras in this building are broken, and several teachers' valuables have been stolen. You must be careful," he said seriously. I nodded, glanced into the classroom, and pointed at the two people beside Lin Xiao, asking, "Do you know them?" Zhou Lei looked and said, "The boy is Lu Yu from the student council, from a powerful family, acting high and mighty. The girl is Wang Hong, a delinquent. Her boyfriend is in our class. I heard she cheated on the high school entrance exam to get in, but I don't know if it's true." I silently memorized this. Just then the class bell rang and Zhou Lei and I hurried back to class. The next morning during morning self-study, I suddenly shivered while reciting lessons. Looking up, I saw Lin Xiao and Wang Hong standing at the classroom door, waving for someone. Soon Lu Yu also got up and went out. Lin Xiao glared fiercely at me when she saw me. I sneered in return. As expected, trouble came early. About 20 minutes later they returned. Lin Xiao's eyes were red but she said arrogantly, "Su-hee, the homeroom teacher wants you in the office, now hurry." I calmly stood up and walked out without looking at them. In the office, both the homeroom teacher and the bearded dean were present. "Here she is," the bearded man said sternly. The homeroom teacher hesitated, then finally said, "Classmate Su, Lin Xiao cried this morning, saying you stole 9,000 yuan from her desk drawer, and even brought several classmates as witnesses, claiming they saw you rummaging through her desk at noon when everyone was away. Is this true?" The bearded man added, "This is no small amount and Lin Xiao wants to call the police. We persuaded her to hold off first. Tell us what happened." Though I cursed Lin Xiao's shamelessness in my heart, I calmly replied, "Did Lin Xiao say the money was lost in the classroom? Do you believe a grade 1 student carries so much money in their desk? Besides, she applied for a poor student grant. Where would she get so much money? It might even be stolen money." The homeroom teacher scratched his head awkwardly. "But those classmates insisted they saw you enter the classroom and rummage around." I calmly took out my phone. "Look, teacher. I wasn't even at school yesterday noon. I rode a shared bike to eat at an off-campus restaurant after school, and only returned near lunch break. Here are the bike return records and the receipt. You can even check the school gate surveillance. 2 classmates from other classes went with me. Should I call them to testify?" The homeroom teacher and the bearded man exchanged a look. The bearded man nodded. "We understand. The school will handle this. Don't make a scene for now, go back to class." When I returned to the classroom, the teacher was absent. Lin Xiao was pretending to cry on her desk, while several classmates comforted her and looked at me with disgust. My deskmate quickly pulled me aside and explained how Lin Xiao had acted pitifully and accused me after I left. I soothed her and sat down, then pulled a podium stool to stand on. The classmates instantly fell silent, and even Lin Xiao's crying quieted. My dad told me to keep a low profile, but keeping a low profile didn't mean letting others bully me. So I said loudly, "Alright, I won't pretend anymore. I'll confess. I, Su-hee, am the biological daughter of Su Jianghuai." The classmates gasped and quickly took out their phones to search for my dad. When they saw his photo, they were stunned. "Oh my god, it's the richest man's daughter here to experience ordinary life. Rich sister, let me cling to your leg." Lin Xiao, Wang Hong, and Zhou Lei were so shocked their jaws nearly dropped. I opened my mobile banking app, showed them my balance and said, "Not showing off. I just want to prove I don't need to steal that little money." The front row classmates gasped when they saw the balance. I put away my phone and said, "The homeroom teacher just called me because Lin Xiao accused me of stealing money, even finding witnesses. But think about it, he couldn't even afford 100 yuan for a cake a few days ago, yet now he claims 9,000 yuan was stolen. Isn't that ridiculous?" The classmates laughed and began criticizing Lin Xiao. I knocked on the podium. I promised the teacher I wouldn't make a scene, and I hope some people will behave themselves now. Otherwise, I won't mind inviting the police to thoroughly investigate this matter. Just then, a commotion arose outside the classroom. A classmate with sharp eyes shouted, Look, there's a handsome guy outside. Lin Xiao, who had been pretending to cry on her desk, sprang up like she'd heard a military assembly whistle, rushed to the door with teary eyes, and threw herself into the arms of the arriver. I looked closely. Oh, it was the male lead in the book, Lin Jianlu, but the real person was far different from what I'd imagined. I had expected a graceful jade-like gentleman, but the person before me, well, though he stood around 1.8 meters tall, he had a broad, pumpkin-shaped face and dry, messy hair that looked like a bird's nest atop his head. He was far from the godlike figure I'd imagined. When Lin Jianlu was flung into by Lin Xiao, the smile froze on his face. He fumbled to push her away while glancing at me anxiously, like a child caught in mischief. After finally disentangling himself, he forced a gentle smile at me. It's me, Jianlu. I silently lamented the disillusionment. Lin Jianlu invited me to the cafeteria. Knowing I had to clear things up eventually, I agreed. My gossip-loving deskmate tagged along shamelessly. During the meal, Lin Jianlu kept piling meat onto my plate as if blind to my protests that I had a small appetite. My deskmate watched with a complicated expression, then suddenly pointed and exclaimed, "Senior, look! Your girlfriend is here." We turned to see Lin Xiao face taut standing nearby with a tray. Caught staring, she marched over with Wang Hong and sat down. Lin Jianlu hurriedly explained, "Lin Xiao is just my neighbor, we grew up together." "Oh, so childhood sweethearts?" My deskmate quipped, hitting a raw nerve. Lin Xiao snapped, "Don't talk nonsense." She slapped away Lin Jianlu's hand and accused, "You promised to marry me when we were kids. You forgot." Wang Hong added fuel to the fire, drawing curious stares from surrounding students. I cleared my throat and turned to Lin Jianlu. "I know why you wanted to talk, but we're minors. Let's not get involved in family business, okay?" Before I finished, Lin Xiao, like a lit firecracker, grabbed a bowl of porridge and flung it in my face. She snatched Wang Hong's bowl and continued pouring. Though the porridge wasn't hot, I was furious. But I had a secret weapon, my crying skills. Tears poured out like a broken dam. My deskmate, quick on the uptake, cursed Lin Xiao while scrubbing my face so hard it turned red, then dragged me toward the infirmary shouting, "Hurry, let's check for scars." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Lin Jianlu struggling to restrain Lin Xiao and Wang Hong. This should be interesting, I thought. Within half an hour, the gossip about Lin Xiaopo spilling porridge out of jealousy spread like wildfire. In the infirmary, once alone, my deskmate and I burst into laughter. Now she's famous. I quickly messaged my brothers to pick me up. Better to leave before my injuries were exposed. My third brother replied instantly, telling me to wait at the gate. When he saw me, he launched into an exaggerated act, clutching my face and wailing, "Who did this to my baby sister? I'll teach them a lesson." I pushed him away in disgust. "Why are your hands wet? My face is itching." He grinned. I applied diluted starfruit juice. "You're allergic to starfruit, right? Makes it look more realistic." "Don't worry, it's safe." I rolled my eyes. "You're such a schemer. I'll deal with you later." As we drove off, my homeroom teacher chased after us, panting, "How's your face, Sue? Is it serious?" My brother shielded me. "Look at her red face, of course it's serious. We're going to the hospital. If there's a scar, this isn't over." With that, he floored the gas. Watching the teacher shrink in the rearview mirror, I laughed until my sides ached. "Still laughing?" my brother asked. "Spill it, what happened?" I recounted the story, and he slammed the steering wheel in anger. "That little brat went too far. We can't let this go." Shortly after returning to the mansion, Dad called. Sensing my distress, he fumed, "Don't worry, sweetheart. I'm coming home. Stay put and ignore that school nonsense. Don't accept any apologies from the teacher." Lying on a garden bench as our aunt applied medicine, I knew Lin Xiao would strike again, and I had to prepare. Sure enough, my deskmate messaged. Lin Xiao was crying about me seducing seniors in the cafeteria, and many believed her. School forums and confession walls were slandering me, even posting photos of me in my brother's sports car, calling me a gold digger. Unfazed, I sent a command in our private group. My allies sprang into action. My deskmate and girls sat beside Lu Yu, spinning a dramatic tale of Lin Xiao's unrequited love for the senior and her jealous outburst, adding that someone saw her attempt to kiss him. Lu Yu's face turned green. He slammed his chopsticks and stormed off. Bai Yun trailed them, witnessing Lu Yu dragging Lin Xiao to a corner for a heated argument. Meanwhile, Zhou Lei deliberately violated rules to grab takeout, leading vice principals and teachers on a chase. They stumbled upon Lin Xiao and Lu Yu in a compromising embrace. Zhou Lei got scolded and his food confiscated, while Lin Xiao and Lu Yu were hauled in for questioning. My paid internet trolls meanwhile whitewashed my name on forums, exposing Lin Xiao's two-timing, attempted disfigurement, and dorm bullying. Her roommates also exposed her penny pinching and gaslighting. When the homeroom teacher heard this, he stormed into the principal's office. 2 days later, Dad returned and marched me into the principal's office the next morning. The principal scrambled to greet us, along with other leaders. Dad boomed, "My daughter is spoiled rotten at home. Sent her here to study, not get bullied. It's been less than 3 months. How do you plan to fix this?" Just then, Lin Xiao and her parents entered, dressed shabbily and cowering. Her father forced a smile. "Mr. Su, sorry, we failed to discipline her. Forgive her rash actions." Dad ignored their outstretched hands. "Your daughter spread rumors and scalded my girl's face. A sorry isn't enough." Her father kicked her leg. "Apologize now." Lin Xiao staggered forward, knelt, and mumbled, "Sorry, I was jealous. Please forgive me." Ai Leng Xiao scoffed. "Mistakes need consequences. A sorry won't cut it. Seeing Dad, Lin Zhao's eyes lit up. Before she could speak, her mother interjected. She should be punished. We'll make her pay or even drop out. A young teacher hesitated. Drop out is too harsh. You don't know, her mother snapped. This good-for-nothing is 2 months pregnant. Won't say who the father is. How can she stay? The room gasped. The dean demanded. Is it a student here? Lin Zhao glanced around, then pointed at Dad. It's him. He raped me. Dad froze, then barked. You're that bar waitress who spilled wine on me. I let it go because you were young and now you're framing me? First my daughter, now me? Her parents lunged at Dad, screaming. Male teachers intervened, barely pulling them apart. Dad roared. Enough. Listen. He took a deep breath and held my hand. I'm gay. I have a boyfriend. How could I do that? The room erupted in shock. Even a teacher in the corner cursed. I stared at Dad in disbelief. He shrugged helplessly. I planned to tell you and your brothers when you were older. Guess it's out now. The principal hurried to mediate. Mr. Su, we must clarify this. How can we prove the child isn't yours? My father frowned. Since she claims it's mine, let's do a DNA test with amniocentesis. I'll cover the cost. If it's mine, I'll take responsibility. If not, they'll pay dearly. Let's go to the hospital now. He grabbed Lin Zhao's arm, who turned pale and wailed. I lied. The child isn't his. My father stopped. Admitting it earlier would have saved trouble. You're too scheming. The principal quickly apologized, promising the school would handle it and urging us to go home. After resting for days, I returned to find announcements. Lin Zhao was expelled for campus romance and slander. Lu Yu was demoted and suspended. Wang Hong and her boyfriend were also punished. Finally, peace, I thought, vowing never to be dragged into such drama again. On New Year's Eve, Dad hesitantly brought his boyfriend home. A gentle, refined man. We enjoyed a warm reunion dinner. Mid-celebration, my deskmate called. Guess who I saw? Lin Zhao is working at a supermarket, flat-stomached. Turns out, she was gang-raped by hoodlums at the bar, lost the baby, and now wants to be friends with you. Ridiculous, right? I felt mixed emotions. She brought this on herself. Hanging up, I looked at my family's smiling faces, grateful my rebirthed life was finally on track. Post-winter break, campus felt refreshed without Lin Zhao and her clique. Classmates eyed me with awe, curiosity, but mostly kindness, having witnessed her malice. I stayed friendly but guarded, a lesson from her betrayal. My deskmate remained her chatty self, teasing me for snacks to finish stories, adding humor to heavy studies. I focused fiercely in class, vowing to earn grades honestly, not let drama sabotage my future as in the original plot. Seeing my ranks rise felt victorious. Dad praised me, promising a world trip if I kept it up. One day, the monitor rushed to me. The homeroom teacher needs you urgent. My heart sank. In the office, the teacher said, an anonymous letter accuses you of cheating, claiming you bribed teachers for grades. I nearly slammed the desk. This is slander. I earned every score fairly. The teacher nodded. We believe you, but we must investigate. I suggested checking exam footage, grading records, and teacher notes. The teacher approved and I vowed full cooperation. Suspecting Lin Zhao's allies or Lu Yu's group, I tasked Zhou Lei with monitoring suspicious persons, contacted our security team to investigate strangers near the school, and told classmates about the accusation. They rallied behind me, with top students helping organize study materials for review. After days of investigation, ironclad CCTV, proper grading procedures, and teacher testimonies, the cheating claim collapsed. The school publicly cleared my name at an assembly, condemning the slander. I tearfully realized how precious this life was. High school life grew busier. I joined a literature club, debating books and publishing articles in the school journal, and a charity club, organizing sales, nursing home visits, and donations. Each act of kindness felt meaningful. In sophomore year, I agreed to sing at the talent show after my deskmate's persuasion. Practicing daily, I nailed the performance in a blue gown, earning thunderous applause. No longer a side character, but a star owning my story. In senior year sprint, the classroom hummed with focus. With family, teachers, and friends supporting me, the grind felt bearable. On Gaokao Day, I wrote confidently, closing 3 years of hard work. When the results came, excellent scores, we cheered wildly. Dad teared up and I wept, knowing every struggle was worth it. I entered my dream university, leaving past troubles as stepping stones, ready for a brighter future. The end.